Today, we're diving into a science fiction film called Inuyashiki. Spoilers ahead, so brace yourself. Our story centers on Ichiro, an ordinary middle-class man who has just bought a new house for his family. However, instead of appreciation, his efforts are met with complaints. They grumble about how the house is smaller than the neighboring ones. Determined to celebrate, Ichiro buys sushi for the family, but they dismiss his gesture, opting to dine at a restaurant without him. Left alone, Ichiro is forced to celebrate by himself. At work, things aren't much better. His boss berates him over a new project involving energy drinks, which is causing the company to hemorrhage money. Humiliated, Ichiro publicly apologizes as his manager scolds him in front of his colleagues. Exhausted, he heads home, only to witness a thug robbing a man who looks a lot like him. Overcome with fear, Ichiro tries to avoid the situation but is caught by his daughter, who chastises him for being a coward. Sitting outside his home, Ichiro encounters a stray dog, seemingly abandoned by her owner. The dog's name is Hanako, and Ichiro feels an instant connection with her. When his wife notices him with the dog, she coldly instructs him to get rid of it. Adding to his woes, she hands him a report from his recent medical examination, urging him to undergo further testing. The next blow comes when Ichiro visits the doctor and receives devastating news. He has stage 4 cancer and only 3 months left to live. Desperate to share the news, Ichiro tries calling his wife, but she ignores his calls. He then tries his daughter, who also dismisses him. That evening at dinner, Ichiro attempts to tell his family about his condition, but they are too absorbed in their own lives to listen. Instead, they continue to criticize him, with his wife once again demanding that he get rid of the dog, oblivious to the anguish in his eyes. Distraught, Ichiro takes Hanako for a walk, pondering whether his family would even shed a tear for him if they knew about his terminal illness. He tries to abandon Hanako, apologizing to her as he walks away, but she faithfully follows him, refusing to leave his side. Realizing that Hanako is the only one who truly cares for him, Ichiro breaks down, apologizing for even thinking about abandoning his loyal companion. Ichiro encounters a man named Hiro sitting in deep thought at the park. Both men are suddenly startled as they notice a bright light speeding toward them. Before they can react, the object strikes with overwhelming force, knocking Ichiro unconscious as strange creatures surround him, while Hanako barks frantically. When Ichiro regains consciousness the next morning, he finds Hanako faithfully by his side. To his astonishment, his vision is now perfect, no longer needing his glasses. Confused but intrigued, he returns home for breakfast, only to discover that he has lost his sense of taste and is plagued by an insatiable thirst. As he drinks water from the fountain, he notices something bizarre. Smoke begins to waft from his left hand. Moments later, his hand morphs into a large rifle, firing a blast that seems to target the soup he had consumed earlier. Ichiro's entire body then starts to undergo a terrifying transformation, revealing mechanical parts beneath his skin. Struggling to keep his composure, he manages to calm himself just as his wife walks into the room, oblivious to what has just happened. Meanwhile, it is revealed that Ichiro's daughter, Mari, attends the same class as Hiro, the man Ichiro encountered the previous night. Hiro, eager to explore his newfound abilities, meets up with his friend Chako and decides to showcase the powers he gained from the strange event. With a simple gesture, Hiro shoots a bird from afar using his fingers. To further demonstrate his abilities, he takes Chako to an underground parking lot, where he effortlessly controls cars with his mind and reveals the mechanical body hidden beneath his skin. At the same time, Ichiro, leaving work, spots an injured pigeon on the ground. Filled with compassion, he gently holds the bird, and to his amazement, he is able to heal it, restoring it to full health and watching it take flight once more. As he marvels at this newfound power, Ichiro hears the distant cries of someone in pain and instinctively rushes to a nearby hospital, driven by an urge to help. Ichiro encounters a boy on the brink of death due to a terminal illness. Moved by the child's suffering, Ichiro places his hand on the boy, miraculously restoring him to full health, just as he had done with the injured pigeon. Witnessing the joyous reunion between the boy and his mother fills Ichiro with a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing he has saved yet another life. Meanwhile, Hiro's path takes a darker turn. He confronts a group of bullies who had tormented his friend, Chako, demanding they return the stolen money and apologize. As Hiro grips one of the bullies' arms, he inflicts pain until they comply. Just as Hiro is about to take lethal action, Chako intervenes, urging him to stop, reminding him that enough is enough. This display of force catches the eye of a girl named Cheyenne, who later confesses her admiration to Hiro in the hallway. Hiro thanks her with a smile, but his thoughts are elsewhere. We learn that Hiro's mother is divorced after his father left her for another woman. Despite the betrayal, Hiro's mother still cares about his father's well-being and encourages Hiro to spend time with him. Hiro reluctantly visits his father's new family, joining them for dinner. The sight of their happiness, however, only fuels Hiro's resentment, as he feels it was taken at the expense of his mother. While playing with his half-brother, Hiro briefly considers killing them, pointing his finger as if to pull the trigger. But in a moment of hesitation, he stops, realizing that despite everything, he still harbors some care for his father. Haunted by the happy sounds of families nearby, Hiro's turmoil deepens. In a fit of rage, he breaks into one of the houses and coldly murders everyone inside. Ichiro, who has been saving lives at the hospital, hears about the massacre and rushes to the scene. He finds a young girl with a bullet wound in her head and desperately tries to heal her, but to his horror, he realizes his power only works on the living. As he enters the living room, Ichiro is met with the gruesome sight of Hiro standing over the bodies of the dead. Recognizing Hiro as the man from the park, Ichiro tries to reach out, but before he can utter a word, Hiro attacks him, sending him crashing through the air. Ichiro recovers quickly, unharmed by the attack, and races outside just in time to catch a glimpse of Hiro flying off into the distance. Meanwhile, Chako confronts Hiro, suspecting his involvement in the previous night's murders, as the victims were all killed by gunshots with no bullets found. Hiro doesn't deny it. In fact, he admits to killing the family, declaring that he now sees himself as a god. He coldly rationalizes his actions, arguing that people die every day and that it's pointless to feel sorry for strangers. Chako, horrified by Hiro's twisted logic, recoils in fear, unable to accept what his friend has become. He tells Hiro that they can no longer be friends and runs away, deeply disturbed by what Hiro has done. Back at home, Hiro is confronted by his mother with shocking news. She tells him that he must go live with his father, as she has been diagnosed with inoperable cancer and doesn't have much time left. Overcome with emotion, Hiro embraces his mother, swearing that he will not let her die. Meanwhile, Ichiro returns home only to face more turmoil. He informs his family that he has been demoted at work, which triggers his wife's anger as she worries about their mortgage, and his daughter's frustration over his perceived incompetence. Feeling overwhelmed and questioning his ability to protect his family, Ichiro begins to doubt whether he can stop the murders and save others. Just then, Ichiro hears Chako's desperate plea, praying for someone to stop Hiro from killing again. This sparks a realization in Ichiro. He must stop doubting himself and use his newfound powers to put an end to Hiro's reign of terror. Determined, Ichiro transforms into his robotic form, taking Hanako with him as he flies into the sky. Ichiro arrives at the park and meets with Chako, who recounts the events of that fateful night. Chako speculates that both Ichiro and Hiro were reconstructed by aliens, granting them the same abilities. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Chako decides to train Ichiro based on what he observed Hiro doing. They head to a junkyard, where Ichiro attempts to shoot a tin can with his hand. However, it quickly becomes clear that Ichiro has a long way to go before he can hope to match Hiro's prowess. On the other side, Hiro takes his mother to the doctor, only to be met with unexpected news. The cancer has completely disappeared from her body, likely due to Hiro unknowingly healing her with his powers. As Hiro and his mother walk home, he tries to uplift her spirits, urging her to embrace life and take vacations, vowing to bring her happiness after all the hardships she has endured. But their fleeting joy is shattered when a group of police officers arrive, demanding to question Hiro about the recent murders. In a panic, Hiro flees, leaving his mother screaming his name in desperation. Outside, Hiro effortlessly tosses the police officers aside like ragdolls and sprints toward a nearby parking lot. Using his powers, he mercilessly kills 3 of the officers, while the others' bullets have no effect on him. He then leaps from the stairway and flies away, escaping the scene. The media quickly catches wind of his escape, and Hiro soon finds himself a fugitive, with nowhere to turn. Fortune strikes when Hiro crosses paths with Cheyenne, who, despite his fugitive status, decides to offer him shelter. We learn that Cheyenne lives with her grandmother, the only family she has left. Her parents died of illness years ago, and she harbors a bleak outlook on her own life, believing she may not have long to live either. Meanwhile, Ichiro is finally making headway in his training, but he finds himself easily fatigued by the intense exertion. Once again overcome with thirst, he grabs an energy drink from his company, and Choco observes that water seems to be the fuel for their mechanical bodies, as they become extremely thirsty after using their powers. However, Ichiro soon experiences pain, his body rejecting the liquid and expelling it just like it did with the soup earlier. Choco quickly hypothesizes that the sodium content in the drink might be causing Ichiro's body to malfunction, an insight that could potentially be used to their advantage later. That night, Hiro watches the news, only to see his mother being blamed for his crimes. Despite her repeated apologies, she receives no sympathy from the public. Overcome with guilt, Hiro breaks down in tears, realizing that the person he loves most in this world is now suffering the consequences of his actions. The news delivers a devastating blow to Hiro. His mother has been found dead in her apartment, a tragic suicide driven by relentless media pressure. The shock of this realization leaves Hiro numb, and as he reads the comments on the news video, he is consumed with rage as he sees countless people cursing his mother's name. Blinded by fury, Hiro uses his powers to hack into the commenters' computers, unleashing a deadly attack that causes widespread death across the nation as people drop dead in front of their screens. Cheyenne finds Hiro unable to sleep that night and tries to comfort him, but Hiro, racked with guilt, confesses that he is responsible for all the recent deaths. To scare her away, he transforms before her eyes, revealing his true, terrifying form. But Cheyenne, unwavering in her love, refuses to believe that the man she cares for is a monster. Desperate to push her away, Hiro takes Cheyenne into the sky, asking if she's afraid, but she tells him that her only fear is losing him. Realizing that Cheyenne is the only person left in the world who still cares for him, Hiro promises to protect her and stay by her side forever. With this reassurance, Hiro is finally able to find some peace and falls asleep, while Cheyenne smiles, remarking on how human he truly is. However, their moment of calm is shattered when Cheyenne goes to the kitchen and suddenly senses something behind her. She turns around to find an army of soldiers pointing their guns at her. Hiro, sensing the danger, grabs her just as the soldiers open fire, riddling his body with bullets. In a fit of rage, Hiro retaliates with lethal force, killing every soldier in the room. When the dust settles, Hiro is horrified to find Cheyenne lying lifeless in his arms, her body riddled with gunshot wounds. Overcome with grief and despair at losing the only person who cared for him, Hiro resolves to annihilate everyone in the country, vowing to make them all pay for her death. Meanwhile, Ichiro watches the news reports of the escalating murders and urgently warns his family to turn off their phones, fearing they could be the next targets. However, his warnings go unheeded, and his family continues with their lives, oblivious to the imminent danger. Mari, his daughter, meets up with her friends, and they climb to the top of a high-rise building, unaware of the terror that is looming. Hiro hijacks every network, broadcasting his chilling declaration of intent to annihilate the entire country in revenge for the loss of his family. At first, the public dismisses his threats as a joke, but their skepticism quickly turns to terror as Hiro begins mercilessly gunning down people en masse through their devices. Panic erupts across the nation as people run in chaos, but no one can escape Hiro's relentless assault. In a desperate attempt to save lives, Ichiro manages to hijack the signal, while Choco urgently warns everyone to discard their phones to avoid being targeted. Stripped of his digital reach, Hiro shifts to a more direct and devastating approach, launching a barrage of missiles at the city, causing widespread destruction and chaos. Determined to stop the carnage, Ichiro confronts Hiro, pleading with him to cease the violence. But his words fall on deaf ears as Hiro, consumed by rage and vengeance, chases Ichiro through the sky. The two engage in a high-speed aerial battle, weaving through the city's buildings as Hiro unleashes a relentless stream of missiles. Ichiro skillfully evades the explosions that detonate just behind him, narrowly escaping death. The chase takes them through an underground tunnel, where Ichiro barely avoids collisions with oncoming traffic. As they near Mari's location, Ichiro hears his daughter's desperate cries for help. Her building has been struck by one of Hiro's missiles. Fueled by desperation, Ichiro rushes to save her, but Hiro strikes from behind, disabling Ichiro's flight systems and sending him crashing into the side of a building. Determined to protect his daughter, Ichiro attempts to fire back at Hiro, but Hiro deftly dodges the attacks and delivers a powerful kick that sends Ichiro hurtling through the building. Their battle smashes into a helicopter, which careens into a wall and explodes, sending debris flying. The two combatants land on a nearby rooftop, where Ichiro, battered but not broken, continues to beg Hiro to stop the senseless killing. Ignoring Ichiro's pleas, Hiro pulls out a bottle of water, attempting to recharge his energy, seemingly unfazed by the destruction he has caused. But Ichiro destroys the bottle before Hiro can fully recharge. Enraged, Hiro charges at him, snatching the water bottle from Ichiro and gulping it down. Fueled by the drink, he unleashes a barrage of missiles, blasting Ichiro high into the sky. Hiro gives chase as they ascend higher into the atmosphere, relentlessly firing more missiles. The explosions propel Ichiro out into the cold void of outer space. Seizing the moment, Hiro punches Ichiro, intending to end the battle with one final, decisive strike. However, when he tries to fire his missiles, nothing happens. Instead of the expected onslaught, Hiro's body malfunctions, spewing out the energy drink he had just consumed. Ichiro had cleverly swapped the water with the energy drink, knowing it would disrupt Hiro's systems. As Hiro stumbles, his body glitching and failing, Ichiro seizes the opportunity. His arm transforms into a powerful rifle, and he unleashes a flurry of projectiles, each one hitting Hiro with explosive force. The impact sends Hiro hurtling back towards Earth, leaving him momentarily incapacitated. Ichiro, not wasting any time, speeds towards the building where Mari is, his heart pounding with fear. He finds her lying motionless on the ground, and in a desperate effort, he uses all his remaining strength to revive her. After a tense moment, Mari gasps for breath, and the two embrace, tears streaming down Ichiro's face as relief washes over him. Their reunion is brutally interrupted as Ichiro is suddenly kicked with immense force, sending him crashing into the walls. To his shock, Hiro has survived the fall from space and is back, more vengeful than ever. Seeing Mari, Hiro realizes she is Ichiro's daughter and with a twisted grin turns his wrath on her. He fires a shot that pierces her stomach just as Ichiro tries to intervene. Ichiro, weakened and desperate, is mercilessly beaten by Hiro, who treats him like a rag doll. Hiro continues to pummel Ichiro, his attacks relentless and brutal, all while Mari watches in horror. Hiro grabs Mari and drags her to the edge of the building, his eyes filled with cold malice. He wants Ichiro to feel the same hopelessness and despair that haunts him every moment. With a cruel smile, Hiro hurls Mari off the building, sending her plummeting toward the ground. In a moment of pure desperation, Ichiro channels every ounce of energy he has left and rockets toward Hiro, crashing into him with such force that he snaps off Hiro's arm. Without pausing, Ichiro dives downward, his eyes locked on his daughter as she continues to fall. He stretches out his hand and in the last possible second, catches her, pulling her safely into his arms just before she hits the ground. Mari stirs, her wounds healed by her father's miraculous powers, and as she looks up at him, realization dawns. Her father is a superhero. She watches in awe as he takes to the skies once more, flying off to save as many lives as he can in the chaos Hiro has left behind. Though the government officially declares Hiro dead, they have yet to recover his body, finding only strange shards of metal at the scene. Ichiro returns home and quietly joins his family for dinner, trying to maintain the appearance of normalcy. But now Mari sees her father in a new light, recognizing him as the true hero he is. Meanwhile, Choco arrives home and is shocked to find Hiro still alive, albeit missing an arm from their last encounter. Despite the grim circumstances, Choco is relieved his friend survived and eagerly invites Hiro to join him in playing the newest video game. But when he turns around with the game in hand, he realizes Hiro has already left, knowing that staying would only put his best friend in danger. So what did you guys think of this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. I'll catch you all next time.